just live like a normal person. And so I left. Now, I had 4 months of formation. It's there I learned abortion was murder. It's there that I learned the 10 Commandments. It's there that I learned about sexual morality. There was things that I learned that I couldn't unlearn. But I still wanted to try the world my way. It didn't work out. An addict doesn't do just a little bit. I went in all the way within a few days. Eventually I hooked up with my street friend. I also tried doing some drug dealing in Vancouver. Got ripped off once, nearly stabbed a guy, actually right on Hastings and Granville, right on the corner, who was trying to take my weed. And I just knew that all this was wrong. I was selling to prostitutes, and sometimes I was using them. Selling drugs to them and stolen goods. I was doing B&Es. But now I knew it was wrong. I couldn't enjoy any of it. And even if I smoked weed and went to bed at night, I said, I know this is wrong. So, this wasn't going to work out. And then I thought, I got to repent and get right with God. And for whatever reason, I thought, let's go back to Teen Challenge. So I get back to London. There I meet my friend who I did the 25 hits with. So unfortunately, the worst mistake of my life, perhaps. But we started drinking beer, and we started talking about how the police beat us up. And all of a sudden, my idea of getting right with Teen Challenge was gone. I told the probation officer that day that I was going to get a wife and a kid and a white picket fence and a job. And he knew enough about my criminal history that he didn't take me too seriously. He said, "That's good, Bill." And that was probably 3 o'clock in the afternoon. By 5 o'clock, we were planning on hijacking a bus and running it into the wall of the London police station. Now, if we thought about this for more than 2 hours, it might have came out somewhat different. But as it is, in 2 hours we had 8 beers, probably 2 grams of pot between the two of us, and it seemed like a really grand idea. It just seemed like the smartest thing that we ever came up with. So we walked to a bus stop. We had 2 knives. We had our beer bottles with us. We marched on the bus, smashed the bottles, pointed the knife at the bus driver. I was supposed to keep him on as a hostage. Matthew pulled his knife on the passengers, and they weren't arguing. They were good Canadians. They were all off the bus and running the other way. Now, for me, because I was so high and so worked up now at this seemingly brilliant idea, I threw my bus driver off, and neither one of us knew how to drive a bus. Which, thank God, because once again, I might not be talking to you today if we really pulled that plan off. But as it is, there was no bus driver, and we had to figure out how to drive the bus into the wall of the police station that was 1 block away. I knew nothing about air brakes. I'm a class 1 driver today. I can drive anything. In fact, I drove buses commercially up in Fort Mac. I never told them about my first experience, by the way. But at this point, I didn't know anything about air brakes, so I didn't know to hit that big yellow button. So we're just putting our foot on the brake, and the thing's lurching, and then we got the windshield wipers going, we got the blinkers going, and of course, the bus driver drove towards the police station, so we knew, or ran, so we knew that we didn't have much time. And of course, we're high. We're just stoned. I just announced to Matthew, "We've got to take hostages." So we ran out of the bus. 2 school teachers, they were male teachers. They came walking out of the school. There was a Beale public school there. It was about 8 o'clock at night, so they were probably doing some late thing. We ran after them and took them as hostages. 1 got away on us. 1, I had the knife to his throat, and I told him I was going to kill him if he didn't drop his hands because he wanted to fight with me. Thankfully, he didn't. And thankfully, the police didn't come at that time because they probably would have shot me dead, and rightfully so. I was holding the poor guy, and he was basically begging for his life. I didn't have a capacity to care for him, and I didn't really care about his life. The only thing that really saved him and me, more so is more important for him, is Matthew saw that this was going to end in a fatality, and there was no reason for it. He asked me to leave the guy, let him go. So I did. Within a minute, the police were all over the place, like 30 police cars, just a massive army of police cars. And I don't know how we got out of the dragnet, but we were running, diving underneath cars, running across streets as police cars drove by. I took another guy to use him as a human shield when a police, they hold the prisoners, those police vans with the box in the back. It was coming at us, and when I took this guy as a human shield, that police officer started backing up. I cut the guy, and then when I cut him, he screamed and ran towards the cops, and that actually enabled us to get away.